Oh, are you awake?
I am awake. Hi. Well, do you know any of our lineage that you can tell me?
Yeah, long story short, our family name goes back to a name called Namaka. It's those two people in the Hawaiian crest. They're twins. That's our family, and we would have been pretty much the babysitters of Kamehameha.
I was just also wondering if you knew anything about mom's side and like Tutu Paulette's side, because I don't really know much about it at all.
Similarly, because I was supposed to be hamau, or quiet, hush, you don't talk, because at that point in time of us growing up, you ask mom's going to tell you, it's shame to be saying I'm Hawaiian. Mm-hmm. I used to be ashamed to say that, And I'm pissed off at this now, at this age, knowing that I used to be, oh, what are you? And Hawaiian used to be the last thing that come out. Or just because I knew I'm, Hawaiian, Chinese, Portuguese, Filipino. And that's fucked up. That's so messed up. Because, right, it affects your generation. I know that your lineage comes from Kauai, the only island who was never conquered by Kamehameha. And everything else comes from in Kohala with Kamehameha the First, and him doing all of the conquering of the islands. Okay, well, my first question back to you is, how do you identify as being Hawaiian, or what does it mean for you to be Hawaiian?
Well, that question I guess is kind of hard for me. I mean, being Hawaiian means like everything to me. But I feel like, I don't know, a lot of the time it feels like I don't know, I just feel like I don't do enough for my people, for Hawaii, and I feel like I could be doing more to be a part of the culture and learning more about myself.
I think that's... Sorry, may I?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's very interesting that you come with that perspective, because for me, growing up, especially when I was your age or just a little younger in elementary school, I'm gonna speak very blunt.
Yeah.
Colonialism taught me to be ashamed to be Hawaiian.
Mm-hmm.
It was only after I got out of high school and went to college and I started actually understanding myself did I realize how important the meaning of being Hawaiian was. You are Hawaiian. It's something that I've only come to understand as being an adult.
For me, I was never embarrassed growing up being Hawaiian, but that kind of started once I got older, once I came to the mainland. And now I feel this sense of like embarrassment that I don't know my culture enough, that I don't know who I am enough, and like I feel like I can't stand up. If I ever needed to stand up for our people, like I would not know how to. And then like I constantly see like friends here who are Hawaiian, and then I feel like almost outcasted by those friends who are Hawaiian, because I don't feel Hawaiian enough, or I feel like
Why do you not feel that way?
I kind of blame it on myself for not putting in the work to understand where I came from more.
That's not even for you to put that blame, because you put me in tears right now. That's my fault, and that's Mom's fault, and that's not even...
Sorry, the call dropped.
No, I was going to say, is the government listening? I will take that pressure. Mom will gladly take that pressure. Tutu both Julie and Paulette would take that pressure gladly because, you know what, as far away as that sounds, it's that close.
But it's also like, it's none of our faults. It's like it's the fault of colonialism.
Yes.
Like our ancestors were forced to stop speaking Hawaiian, forced to stop doing their tradition. I don't remember if it was Tutu or for his Grandma V, but I remember one of them telling me like, oh, I wish I could teach you Hawaiian, but like my parents never taught me Hawaiian because it was banned and they were scared to teach us Hawaiian. So like, we want to be able to pass it down to you, but we can't.
They couldn't. People above me, they just angry because everything got stolen and swept out from under them. And it gets emotional after a while. The person who's in control can say, okay, you're getting a little wild. Arrest him for being disorderly. Mm-hmm. And that's what it was, and that's how it's always been.
I mean, yeah, it still is. We still see it happening every day.
Exactly.
And I mean, that's what I want to be able to do, too. I want to be that voice for the people before me who can't necessarily use their voices.
That's the fucked up thing about everything, right? The United States, they don't give a fuck about nothing. Mm-hmm. We are right now a military strategic place. The minute the U.S. government gives us up, because they fucked up the Hawaiian government so bad that we can't stand on our own, there's just going to be another country to come in and take over us.
Yeah.
And that's fucked up because, you know, we had our own government and our own nation. Holy crap, Jaina. Quantum is another thing that the fucking white man brought up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just to categorize us and tell us who we are.
No, exactly. It was there, and then you have a white man that comes in and, oh no, you have to be X amount of this and X amount of that in order to qualify. Like, and all of them, they didn't have those kinds of quantums. You was. Mm-hmm. Sorry, was that a heavy answer?
No, I'm just thinking. And for the longest time, I blamed it on myself for not knowing who I am, for not reaching out to my culture, to my roots more, for not talking to Tutu Paulette more. Like, I still am very sad and am very regretful for not being more interested in my culture and connecting more with Tutu Paulette, especially now that she's gone. I will continue to carry on her name and her culture, but now I know that, like, it is none of our fault. It's not your fault. It's not Tutu's fault, Tutu Paulette, Tutu Julie, Grandma V's fault. It is colonialism's fault, and the fact that as a people we were forced to forget who we are. We were forced to not be who we are.
Even if you have one drop, you still have connection to this land. You can trace your lineage or your koko to these islands.
I'm glad we had this conversation because these are things that I've been wanting to talk about for a very long time.
I really appreciate this conversation. If you ever have any questions, we can definitely talk. And if I can't answer your questions, I will definitely tap my resources to answer. Thank you for this conversation. I love you.
I love you too.
All knowledge is not taught in the same school. Basically meaning one can learn from many sources.